everybody for your patience, and as usual, I need to always just play around with my little tripod. Anyhow, but yes, thank you for joining us as we continue our healthy living tips. And today our topic is nutrition and aging, because that's always important for no matter what age you are. This is something that I believe everybody should have awareness around. My name is Anuschka. I'm an empowerment health coach and energy healer.
And I'm Dr. Rachael, Meir, a clinical and health psychologist and also health and wellness coach and advocate.
Yes, we are both passionate about health, hence healthy living tips. And as we age, which I don't ever like to actually talk about, oh, I'm getting older. To me, age is nothing but a number. And I am aware that as we do age, there are things that change in our body, right? So I'm not going to just say, no, my body's not changing at all, because that just wouldn't be realistic.
Right. It's all about how you feel and how you act. It doesn't mean that genetically, biologically, things are changing cellularly that we just cannot fully control. We got some control. And what we're going to talk about today are ways that you can absolutely have an impact, so it makes it the most positive experience. And yet we both know that we're not going to live forever. So eventually these things are imminently going to happen, or inevitably going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, at the end, right, there's two things that are guaranteed in life. I always say this, and that's birth and death. And those that are blessed and take care of themselves actually do get to enjoy a long, healthy life, right? I mean, other than, of course, incidences that unfortunately may take us out at a younger age. And it really does take being an advocate of yourself and taking those actions that are necessary to keep your body healthy.
Right. And so we know, we've talked about some of these things in the past, ways of managing the oxidative stress on your body, getting antioxidants to battle those free radicals, making sure that you have the sufficient amount of protein to maintain good muscle mass in your body, right? There's so many things starting right here, right now, today are absolutely important. And then as people do get into an older age category, even more and more things become sort of different or align with that group of individuals. Like, for example, one thing that comes to my mind is that you just generally need fewer calories as you get older, perhaps because you might be less active, less intensely active, maybe the things that you do in your daily basis, but also just the way that your body metabolizes. However, you do need more nutrients.
Yeah.
And so think about, how do you get the maximum amount and quality of nutrients, eat less calories. Something like the isoline shake is fabulous. 220, 240 calories, but flooded with all of the nutrients that are so vital, especially, well, I'm not even going to say especially, for everyone, but in the older age category would be so easy then on someone's body and easy to digest.
Absolutely. And what I love is that it has combined all that our body needs, including the fat part, like the fatty acids and like the amino acids and all those nutrients that we would have to eat who knows how much salads and fish and whatever else in order to feed our body the necessary nutrients to maintain that health.
And the protein.
Yeah, and of course. Especially muscle, because muscle mass tends to decrease with...
Yeah, saying 3 to 8% of muscle mass every decade after age 30. So think about, by the time you're age 70, 80, or 90, how much of your muscle mass you potentially have lost, and that makes it harder. That's harder that, in terms of like bone disease and being stable and secure in terms of preventing weakness or, fracture and poor health. As you get older, having more muscle mass is so important. And if you can get, 24 plus grams of protein in a 220 calorie shake, boom, that is huge.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even more so, like that in itself, I love our shake because there's just so much value in it. But there's so many other things that I feel like I also include. I mean, being 39, like I feel healthy, I feel great, and I'm again aware that I am 39 and I feel like I'm 29, but that's also because of what I eat and what I put in my body, and the energy I have sometimes is more than people I see that are 10 years younger than me. And again, it's because of what I put in my body. Of course, the shake is one. One of the other things, because I was even looking on healthline.com, and what's cool about it is like so many things listed here are a part of isogenics. Like, for instance, bone broth, right? Like, that's something that is absolutely necessary for our bodies to have that collagen and really just maintain that. And we talked about collagen on a preview. I don't know, was that last week or 2 weeks ago? I don't know, but you can find out. You can go look and see. But we definitely talked about how beneficial collagen is for, again, healthy aging. And that's really what it comes down to. It's healthy aging, not, oh, as we're getting older or anything else, or telomere support. We talked about that as well. Again, healthy aging, right?
Right.
What was things like fatty acids, like I mentioned earlier, that's another one that they listed. And that's part of the complete essentials that we have, right? So these are just things that make a difference for the body and supporting the body in all the ways. And yeah, so that's like one of the things I wanted to share as well.
Yeah. Another big issue specifically in the aging process tends to be constipation. Any age, but especially in people over 65 and women specifically, it can be 2 to 3 times more common than in a sort of younger population. And so a lot of times people are given medications to be able to have more regular bowel movements, but instead focusing on eating fiber is one of the best ways to.
Good. Yeah, that's a big one. That is definitely huge. Yeah, and being someone that had a lot of issues, and I'm like, I no longer am a TMI person. I'm like, there's nothing that is TMI for me, and I know Rachel's the same way, because hey, we've seen it all, we've experienced it all, and we've seen so much from others as well being in this journey. And I know for me, I know all my 20s, even early 30s, I would say, I always dealt with constipation, and it was uncomfortable. I mean, I'm going to be honest about it. If those of you out there that deal with that, I mean, it is not something, it drains you. What was that?
Changes your mood.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like, you don't want to do anything. For me, it slowed me down, and it's like, it's amazing how much my body has changed just by, and of course, increase of vegetables. That's a huge thing for not only that, but also healthy aging is just having, again, nutrient dense food. And I've noticed, like, again, TMI, but I go at least 3-4 times a day, if not sometimes more. And now it's weird if I don't go at least twice a day, whereas before it would be a couple days sometimes, right? So that in itself can really make a difference for our living, the quality of life too, right?
Absolutely. And some other things too, just to, kind of focus on the healthier aging and nutrients that you want to be able to focus on that are important as you continue to age, or the need for calcium, kind of getting back to that point of, maybe having weakness in the bones or more likelihood for fractures.
And vitamin D, of course, too, with that, right?
As they work together, absolutely. Vitamin D, and so many people naturally are deficient in vitamin D anyways. They don't get outside, they don't get the sun exposure, but having a supplement to really offset that deficiency is so huge.
Yeah, because a lot of times I notice people are just so worried about the sun and their skin, and I understand. The only thing I always say is, like, I get it if you're out there 8-9 hours every single day, but being out in the sun a few hours a day is actually very healthy, and really, it's beneficial for the body. Say that again?
And even 20 minutes of exposure is really all that's needed to get the energy in your body if you're in the right I think it does have to do with altitude and where you are in your exposure. I'm not entirely familiar, but I know it's not a lot, and I know most people can absolutely benefit from even 20 or 30 minutes a day in the sun.
Yeah.
And mentally, just for your mental well-being.
Makes such a huge difference for me. I can tell my mood totally changes when the sun is not out. I'm like, what's going on today? I'm like, it's gloomy.
For sure. You know, another big one too when we're talking healthy aging is vitamin B12.
Oh, yes.
We talked about how vitamin B is so prevalent also in the isogenic line, and making sure that you've got enough of the right vitamin Bs for energy and for being able to help make your red blood cells and maintain healthy brain function. And so in addition to the stress management that the adaptogens in the ionics offer, they also give you a ton of B vitamins and B12, which is something that would be crucial to consider.
Yeah. And then another one to add as well is potassium.
Yep.
That's a really big one. And I know that our shakes definitely have a great amount of that as well. And
the electrolytes. I want to talk more
about
the ant line and some of the athletic products, but one of the best products is the ant hydrate, which is an electrolyte replacement, kind of like a sport bait, but no added sugar, no artificial coloring or sweeteners, no added chemicals. But you get
low sugar, no added sugar, but it's like literally like 1 gram of sugar, less than 1 gram of sugar. I think we did a live on that at one point. I don't know. But yeah, we're definitely going to talk more about the whole ant line and really just like how to use it in order to maximize the benefits of the body. But yeah, potassium and what else? Sodium, and there's like a few other nutrients that are in those electrolytes as well, right?
Right, for sure. And I think the other two big ones that we haven't talked about would be just magnesium and iron.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Same thing, you know, magnesium.
Oh, you just got cut out.
Really, but
say that last part one more time. You got cut out for some reason.
Sorry.
Just about magnesium, yeah.
Magnesium just being such an important mineral in general for everyone, but especially, you know, through an aging population, you're at risk of deficiency generally just because of poor intake. And if you're not generally focusing on good nutrition, then this is going to be one that's hard to get. And having a supplement like IsoFlush is just easy to guarantee. You're always going to get that amount of magnesium necessary for gut function and for mood and for sleep. And if you have restless leg issues, those can all be, you know, handled through magnesium.
Yeah, and I love IsoFlush for many reasons. One, that it saved me a few years ago from literally going to the emergency room and having to get an enema. So I'm more than grateful for IsoFlush because of that. And what I do love about it is that with everything that you said, what magnesium actually has our body produce its own melatonin. And to me, that in itself is amazing, because I have noticed people that tend to get older, they start to have more sleep issues. And I don't know exactly the science or anything behind of that, but that's just like my experience of those around me. I thankfully don't have any sleep issues, and I plan to keep it that way. And I know that there's always IsoFlush for that.
Yep, for sure. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And then iron. I think iron is another deficiency that's common in an older population. And as we know, iron deficiency can lead to anemia and problems that are associated with weakness and fatigue with that. And so being able to focus on making sure you get a healthy amount of iron in your diet every day is also super important.
Yeah.
So hopefully those are a few things that people can take away and keep in mind. And of course, as always, if anyone ever has questions, wants to do a deeper dive into their own individual situation and see how we can help best support you, we are always here to do that.
Yes, absolutely. You can always comment here or message us privately.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for watching.
Bye.